My wife and I and two small children were living in Manhattan Beach at a particular house that we recall in mid-'80s. This occurs. We were asleep, middle of the night, and I wake up to see a bluish light coming from what appeared to be the living room. And I woke up my wife. I said, "You see that light?" And she said, "Yes, I see the light." And I said, "I got to get up and check it out." I was pretty frightened that someone might be in the house, burglar.
Sure.
We had two small kids. So I start to get up, and all of a sudden I'm paralyzed. I cannot move my limbs. And I struggled. I really struggled and struggled because I was frightened because we had two small kids in the house, and my wife. I turned to her and asked for help. Couldn't move. And I was surprised to see that she was unconscious.
Wow.
I recall next seeing a figure in the doorway. Appeared to be a hooded figure. I could not describe the face at this point. I mean, I don't recall seeing specific features of the face. But then I'm aware that there's others in the room now. Next thing I remember is kind of floating off the bed and moving towards one of the windows we have in the bedroom. And seeing my wife lying there. I can actually see her lying in bed, unconscious. I approached the window thinking they, and I remember having this thought, they don't know how to open the window. The window's locked. I remember locking it the night before with a latch and thinking they don't know how to open the window. All of a sudden, I'm upright, going right through the window. I know this sounds very strange. It is very strange, but that's how I recall.
As Dr. Jacobs says, everyone goes through the window.
I say, well, does the window in some way open by itself? And I say, no, it doesn't open by itself. And she says, I think I'm going right through the closed window. Wow. And she says to me, does anybody else ever report that? Not knowing that everybody reports that. What you're looking at when people fly through windows and walls and ceilings and this and that is future physics. Mathematically, it can be done if you do it mathematically, because if the Earth can be squashed into the size of a grape or a softball or whatever it is, everything is made up of molecules and there's space and right. So mathematically it's possible, but in our universe and in our level of technology, which is brand new, it can't be done.
Well, that's what I recall, going through the window. The next thing I remember, I don't remember being outside or seeing a craft of any sort at that point. The next thing I remember was being on a table and being shown, and they made a point of showing me this, a large, what looked like a needle. And by large, I mean skin, I guess, around the eye. And it's right here.
Dr. Jacobs believes, and I know you know who he is.
Yes, David Jacobs.
Yeah, sure. Dr. David Jacobs believes that there's a breeding program going on, a very vigorous breeding program. There's an agenda that hybrid beings are being created. Now, when you were on board that ship, did you see any evidence of a hybrid being?
I don't recall seeing any evidence of a hybrid being. However, I think they did take a sample of my semen, and so we can derive from that why they did that.
Sure.
But no, I didn't see evidence of a hybrid program myself.
With everything that you've seen, and I realize that it's a very complex issue. On one hand, it seems like, gee, they're shutting down the silos. They don't want nuclear war on the planet. On the other hand, they're taking you against your will shutting your wife down against her will, kidnapping you, because that's what it is,
Right.
and doing things which you don't really want to have done to you. So with that in mind, do you think the phenomena, do you think their intentions are good or something more sinister? Or don't you know yet?
Well, I would not even want to speculate on that. I can rationalize the idea that if they want us to get rid of our nuclear weapons, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
For
Sure.
civilization,
Yeah, it
for
makes sense.
humanity.
Fukushima, right.
Exactly.
In the old days, we used to say, and with their occupants, because if you said aliens, that was a line over which you did not cross. Aliens meant that you're going too far. Occupants, maybe there's occupants on board, maybe not. Then eventually the word became entities, and then the word became humanoids, or maybe there's crossing of that. They just couldn't say the word alien. They just could. Even now, people have trouble saying the word aliens. I have trouble saying the word aliens, but the fact is they are aliens.